Later this morning, President Obama will publicly name his pick for the new Supreme Court justice. It is between two Washington Appeals Court judges, Srinivasan and Chief Judge Merrick Garland. Our judge, Napolitano, is here. Let's take these one at a time. Srinivasan, what do you know about him?
He's in his late 40s. He's only been a federal appellate judge for about 18 months. Here's what we did for both of them. We examined their decisions in about 4 or 5 areas. First Amendment, freedom of speech. Fourth Amendment, privacy. Federalism, the relationship between the states and the federal government. And deferring to administrative agencies. And we found similarities, strong similarities in the case of both of them. They're very different people. Merrick Garland, Judge Garland has been on the bench for 19 years. He's a consummate Washington insider. Judge Srinivasan is sort of an up-and-coming new member of the Washington establishment. As you know, born in India, so there's that potential aspect that might interest the president. Both of them are centrists. Both of them are more likely to vote with the government than against it. Neither of them is the liberal academic that Justice Kagan is, President Obama's second appointment, or Justice Sotomayor is, President Obama's first appointment.
So
it leads me to believe
the
president is not serious about getting either of them on the court. Neither of these two will further his legacy, but they both will frustrate Republicans. It tells me the president is more interested in the battle to get them on than he is in his legacy on the court.
So he will now turn around and say, how can you possibly reject both of the nominee, who is a centrist with a fine record? Right. How can you refuse this?
Judge Garland worked in George H.W. Bush's Justice Department, has a lot of Republican support. Judge Srinivasan worked at a white shoe Republican law firm before he went on the bench. Neither is like, if this were not the last 10 months of Barack Obama's presidency, these two would sail on, either of them, uneventfully and with zero opposition.
Supposing they did anyway, supposing the Republicans say, you know, that's a good nominee, he's in.
Well, then the president gets his 9th justice, but he does not get what he really wanted. Antonin Scalia's opposite number.
So the ball is now put right into the Republicans' court.
Yes.
This nominee puts the political ball over the fence.
Whichever one of these two it is. I think the president, if he's playing the game, I think he's playing, would have an easier time with Judge Garland, who truly is a member of the Washington establishment, married to FDR's granddaughter, who's deep in Washington roots in both parties. But again, if either of them gets confirmed, this is not the justice Barack Obama wanted there to change the course that Antonin Scalia paved.
But you can never be quite sure which way your nominee is actually going to go, especially if they're on the court for 30 years.
I will give you 2 examples. I was once present where former President George H.W. Bush said such negative things about his appointee, Justice David Souter, you would not think he was the president who appointed him. And Dwight Eisenhower, before he died, famously said of his appointment, Chief Justice Earl Warren, quote, "The worst damn fool mistake I ever made," close quote. So I can tell you, having been there, not on the Supreme Court, but having had a black robe for a lifetime appointment, you change. You don't care what the editorialists think. You don't care what your political buddies think. You don't care what the governor or the president who appointed you think.
Fascinating. All right, Judge, I hope you're with us in the 11 o'clock hour when we can find out who it is.
As soon as that face is on the screen, we'll know, walks next to the president, we'll know who it is.
Judge, thanks very much indeed. We'll see you later.